So in this particular game, you're playing against a Hecarim, you went PTA. I was just wondering why, because Hecarim's one of those junglers where can easily solo, and if Hecarim did go for a Conqueror, if he did have a slight lead, it would actually be really hard to fight him. But we're not going to worry about that. Your runes, your level order, all that seemed fine. So I kind of want to just jump straight into the game. It looks like we're going up against a Master Yi. You have a really good mix of AP and AD. You have the Nami Lux. So that's really all the AP you need realistically. You Trundle and MF. Well, plus you do AP too. So your mix is very, very, very nice. When you're jungling, what are the main things you feel like you're not doing? And what are the things you feel like you do well?
It's difficult just because, well, I'm a newer player. I started in September, and like I have a bunch of friends that are like Diamond 2, Diamond 1 that I play with that are from work, but obviously they're much better than I do, so I don't really play with them unless it's like rank flex. For me though, like I feel like I have pretty good instincts with respect to like if I see somebody cross map invading them, taking their camp. I do okay with like 1v1 skirmishes early game. I think my biggest issues are like knowing what to do during team fights with respect to like, do I peel for my ADC or do I go dive their backline or do I just stay on their tanks because they're on my ADCs where the situation is there. I know how to like close out games with respect to just like prioritizing Rift Herald, Baron, Elders, and whatnot. But it's like recently I've realized that like when I play Shyvana, it's much different because you can take objectives way faster, particularly dragons. And so like I don't need a ton of help with teammates so long as like I don't get risked on being collapsed just because of vision issues. But like with Warwick, I just feel like I have to have a lot more help, especially early game with those things, and like it's really hard to rely on them. So it's just like navigating that. But yeah, I would say team fighting I'm not very good at. Knowing like when the right gank to pick is with respect to just like prioritization. So if you see 2 lanes pushed in, which one should I be choosing, and then which lane should I be choosing to get fed? Because at this point in this ELO, like if you're not playing a really high damage dealing jungler like AP Shyvana and you're ahead, like it's really hard to do anything yourself to carry you through the game. You kind of enable your laners, unfortunately. So just like, how do I pick the right person to be able to do that for us?
Something I'd say, since you are playing an early style jungler, is unless you're turbo smurfing or unless you're playing higher elo, realistically not going to be able to end the games pre-20. What I recommend for lower elo is it's fine getting an early herald. Just make sure you use it before the 14-minute mark. I'm sure you already know this, but at the 14-minute mark, the turret plates fall off and then you can't get this turret plate gold anyways. So if you are going to use herald, it's best to use it before the 14-minute mark. And I really recommend on an early game jungler like Warwick prioritizing dragons, trying to get 2 of the 3 first ones. That way in the mid game, if your team does start to drag behind and things start to go shitty, if you can just steal 1 dragon at that point, you get the dragon soul. Because on an early game jungler, if you don't get dragon soul and it goes late game, you're fucked. Right here, what we should be looking for is setting ourselves up for constant pressure and dominating the early game, because that's what Warwick does. So since it's Master Yi, that's an easy 1v1. The first thing you want to look for at the start of the game, look at the comps, you look at who's going to be pushed, that matters. But the main thing is you're going to be looking at Master Yi's keystone, and he just has lethal tempo. You have press the attack. I would personally go Conqueror. Even if Master Yi won't Conqueror, you should be able to solo him very easily. It really shouldn't be an issue at all fighting him 1v1. But if you're PTA, I could actually see him soloing you, but potentially. So anyways, you should still be able to solo him since he didn't go Conqueror, but I would recommend Conqueror into this matchup. Since Master Yi's probably not going to invade you because it's him and Aatrox, I would probably try to get my word down at least here, or if not here. But in lower elo, people normally start with their bot side, particularly when it's their red buff, because everyone loves red buff, and their bot side. So you're already 95% sure he's going to start here anyways. So what you do with this ward, it's not as important that you get it down. You could just use it defensively if you wanted to. So if you didn't want to risk walking into the bush or anything. All right, nice. So you get the ward down, the 50-second mark. It looks like you're already doing a lot of shit right, which is what I like to see. You got the right items. You got relatively the right runes. You got down a defensive ward. Like I said, since they're probably not going to invade you, look at their comp. Their comp's really shitty for invades unless they're gonna like 5-man stack because they have relatively low CC and the Nami AoE bubble. But yeah, that's fine. So your Nami gets picked, that sucks. The enemies are being aggressive, but you have a ward down, so it doesn't look like they're going to stay. If they did stay, then you wouldn't want to start here. Season 10, it's different. So before Season 10, so you said you've been playing for just like a year, right?
No, like since September.
Damn, all right, so quick, I'll try to shove in some history because the history influences the current knowledge. So historically, you'd always start red side no matter what, because the only way to get level 3 off of 3 camps was with 𝐒𝐻𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋𝐒 plus 2 camps. So it would always just be red buff, 𝐒𝐻𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋𝐒, and one other camp. But here in Season 10, it's �GROMP as well, so �GROMP plus any 2 camps or 𝐒𝐻𝐂 plus any 2 camps. So right now, it's pretty much just start with your bot lane for the best leash possible, unless you feel like you're going to get invaded. So right now, I'm curious, what's your game plan right now? Like, what are you going to do after you're red?
I usually go red, blue, �GROMP, and then I look for either an invade or a gank on the mid.
Fair enough. Red, blue, �GROMP, that's basically just double buff plus �GROMP is what you want to do on Warwick, because he's really bad at clearing early. If you wanted to invade or gank, you want to set yourself up to have both options. And since Mastery's starting most likely on his red buff, by us starting here and then finishing here, Mastery's going to be moving the opposite way, so this isn't quite optimal. If you do intend on wanting invading as an option in your first clear, try to start where the enemy's starting. So if they're starting on this side, match it and you start on your same side. So as they move through their jungle this way, so do you, and then you can catch them. All right?
Yep, makes sense.
And not only that, but a lot of times top laners, especially in low elo, they won't leash because they're just like on YouTube or something. Bot laners almost always will. So you'd get a much faster leash. You'd get out here quicker, have more options. So yeah, try to start with your bot lane and match the enemy jungler when you intend on invading. Gives you better options. Yep, Trundle doesn't leash, which it's not like you're going to get low on health, but it's going to cut you down by like 5 seconds, 5-6 seconds. You're doing a good job of kiting it though. Your friends have been telling you shit. You've been learning fast, man. This is really rare to see out of new players to actually pull it out of it. It's not much, but it's going to save you like 1.5 seconds. Yep, skip the wraps. You see E mid, he's a dingleberry. The moment you see the enemy jump, most importantly with anyone on the minimap, if they're not where they're supposed to be, you're supposed to look at them. So you'd click over here, or do you use your F keys at all?
No, I prefer to click.
People really recommend the F keys. I'm not a huge fan of it because I feel like it's such a long reach. You'd be better off setting up a different hotkey system with your mouse, or maybe using some buttons below your hand like ASD or something like that. But anyway, so whenever you see someone on the map where they're not supposed to be, you need to click on them immediately. So you click over here and you need to see how much health they are. So whether it was the support or jungler, it doesn't matter. If someone's not where they're supposed to be, click immediately. Okay, this guy's half health. He has 4 CS and the replay isn't showing it, but he has red buff. It shows it right here, but not over him. So you know he has red, 4 CS, and the jungle is just 1 camp. 4 CS is always 1 camp. Red buff, 1 camp, he's fucked. It's a weird situation. If you were a better level 2 jungler, you could just go match and kill him, but in this case, I would probably red blue and then go into his jungle or go to his blue. So you want to keep an eye on him while you're doing this. You're literally watching to see where he goes. So now that you see him going back this way, you're like, okay, he's either coming to invade me or he's just waiting to regank or go farm. But he's not doing anything. This is really, really good for you that he's doing that. I assume you're watching him, right? Like while you're farming?
Yeah, I can see him on the board.
Awesome. Awesome. Now that you're level 3, obviously we're just going to path towards his buff side. We don't want to really go to his raptors and golems. They're going to take so long to clear since we're Warwick. If we were someone like Zac or Sejuani, we would definitely come to this area and take it. Since we're Warwick, single target, we're going to prioritize getting the kill or going to his blue side. Alright, so you're just trying to follow him here. Something I will say is, unless you thought your teammates were actually in danger of dying from the gank, just pretend like it's not happening. You can ping it out. I would go ping, 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 and when you ping, go like, so you just follow them with the cursor. Dude, people when they're playing, most of them are like for fun players. They're watching YouTube on the side. Highest quality information you can feed your teammates, it actually makes a huge difference because realistically, people are playing when they're tired. They're playing, watching YouTube. So you do like 5. I usually use all the pings, or I'll ping at minimum 3 times and I follow them with it. And since you know he's not going to get anything anyways, you're wasting your time. You should be pathing through mid, preferably behind Ahri here along this wall, because if this bush is warded, then it will see you if you go around it. So hug this wall right here. Come around her, she's fucked, you'll at least get a flash out of her, and then you're already on your way to his blue. Since you know he's already taken his red, you can't take wraps very fast, we don't really want to invade this jungle. We'd rather take this, so we might as well gank along the way and then go fuck his jungle up. We really don't want to follow this. Luckily, the enemies are bad, they don't really pay attention. Might get a kill here. With what you had, since you already engaged in that situation, you didn't play that bad in terms of since you already like decided you were gonna do it. You eat at relatively the right time when you were nearly in Q range. You had moon speed. Now something I'll say is, since Vayne's level 2, she most likely doesn't have condemn. Vayne has a tumble, a 3-shot silver bolt and a condemn, she almost never takes condemn until level 3. So remember that. So you're not at risk of her shooting you away. So what you'd want to do, since you're moving faster than her, you were in auto attack range when you queued. Auto her, and then right as she's slipping out of your range, then Q, because Warwick's Q range is basically twice as long as his auto range. I know it can feel slippery, but run up, auto, then Q her. You would have actually killed her a lot smoother there. She would have died because she wouldn't have healed in time, but you try to stay on top of her, and yeah, that's just what happened. So basically what should have happened instead is we should have pathed through mid like we talked about along the wall. We would have maybe gotten a kill, at the very least gotten a flash, and wiped out his jungle and not have died. So basically avoiding a death and guaranteeing yourself an advantage is what we're looking for, rather than a risky play where you can get an advantage but you're also probably going to die. The biggest thing in low elo is both teams are making non-stop mistakes, like life-ending mistakes, game-altering mistakes. Even if you're not making plays, as long as you're alive to catch those mistakes, you basically win for free. So just set yourself up to get ahead and avoid situations where you feel like there's a high probability of just trading, because you need to be the carry. Both teams are going to make non-stop mistakes. So now you're going to his blue buff. I like it. You know that it should be up. You still see him bot lane. So for example, if we had done that killer flash, we would have gotten all 3 of his camps. We would have backed, gotten Tiamat, or at the very least gotten maybe both scuttles, if not 1 scuttle plus another gank. So now we're getting his blue buff. He's way overstaying. Since we did just see him bot next time, so you know he's recalling right now, or he's perhaps in base. If we want to get all 3 of these camps, I would have gone to wolves next. So if he's in base right now, by the time he runs up, you would be done your wolves and you'd be on this, and then you could have gotten away. Rather, you'll be much deeper by the time he gets here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always like get really hesitant with taking wolves because it's so deep, and if they find me and they're on a ward or something random, like I can get it's really hard to get out.
No, it's true. It can be tough, but since we did see him and we could time his recall, we easily had enough time. In fact,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if he was on this side, he would have been right here. By now, you would have been on his Gromp if you would have went to wolves. But yeah, if you don't know where the jungler is, be hesitant of the wolves. That's fair. But we knew where he was. He's over pushed. That's free. When someone's that pushed up but he's running away, yeah, just let it be at this point. Shit, is he hiding in the bush?
Yeah.
Nice. Auto attack you through. Good. Yeah, that's solid. Nothing wrong with that. Dragon's going to be up relatively soon. I don't know if this Master Yi knows it, but once Master Yi has backed at least once, he can solo dragons. Particularly, not all the dragons attack at the same rate. If you've noticed, Ocean Drake and Wind Drake attack very consistently. It's like pew, 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 pew. Stone Drake's just like poof, poof. The same thing with Flame. So Flame and Stone attack really slow. So on Flame and Stone, Master Yi can actually solo them super easily. So once he's just backed once, he can take them easily because he'll Alpha Strike. He'll Q every time it goes to hit him, and he'll be able to dodge like over half of them because they're so slow. But when it comes to the Ocean and Wind, he'll get a lot lower on health. Alright, so we got Ahri. She's low. How much gold do we have? Wait, we can actually go back and get Tiamat. I don't remember you backing, though. Oh, it's when you died. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, it's because you died. Alright, and then you went straight to his blue. You got it. You got these. That's good. And this isn't gankable because we're minion wave, but you could cross through. I would honestly, since this isn't gankable, I would just back and get the Tiamat and set up a full clear into Dragon. Since Dragon's spawning in, this would have actually been a perfect time to reset. And we could have just cleared into it. We would have gotten here maybe a minute after it spawned. But since, if this was reversed, if Ahri had 3 minions shoved up to right here, that would be completely different. But Lux has the wave fucked. She has no mana. She has no health. There's no way this is going to happen. This is just a big waste of our time. We're still not level 6. We don't have our Tiamat. So we don't have the farm option. We don't have a hyper gank option. So right now we are not at our power spikes. We're not where we want to be. So this is an Ocean Drake. Master, you wouldn't be able to solo it. Ocean or Wind, he wouldn't be able to take that very easily at all. But you see his teammates going for it. So now you know Dragon's gone. We still shouldn't be here. We should have backed and gotten Tiamat, finished it off. If there's 3 or more people, the rule is unless you're really, really fed, or unless all of the enemies are super low on health, if there's 3 or more doing an objective, you don't go to stop it. Because you're just going to die if you don't have teammates with you. So 1v3, unless you're super fed or unless they're super low, we don't do this. Because it's just, it wastes our time. We should be farming. We should have team at. So instead of us, it's kind of like, have you ever played chess before?
Yeah.
The enemies will put you in weird spots with their pawns, and if you're not willing to trade a pawn for a pawn, then they'll choke you out hard. So it's like when they're making this trade for dragon, you got to take the camps or you got to reset or do something. But if we're doing nothing, like just walking around is basically nothing because you're getting nothing.
Just wasting time.
Yeah. So if we're getting nothing out of it, it makes the trade much, much worse for us. And I know you feel a strong obligation to stop it, but you just have to think about it from a self-centered point of view. Like, forget your teammates, mute them. Like, you can't do anything. Your teammates weren't there. It's 3v1. All right, we should be back for our team at by now, especially our red buffs coming out. We could reset, get a team at, golem full clear it in. Let's see what we do. I understand since you're already in the area, you want to take wolves and gromp, but especially after we finish gromp, like we should definitely be backing. Especially like once we're level 6, ganking gets so much easier that the options just open up. Like, okay, so now we got our team at perfect, leaving base straight into golems. I like it. You're following the blood trail to get to golems, or you're just gonna go straight for the gank. You could probably take him before you go in for fights. Always press tab to check their items. If this guy was really fed, let's say he was like 4-1, he could probably solo you. If he had like tabbies and a black cleaver or something, that happens all the time. If you're fighting someone who's level 6 and you're not, and they're fed, you'll think you can do it, but you just can't. So you check his items. All he has is a longsword. This is easy. I don't know if I would have done that. I'll tell you why. So right now, okay, so he starts to run away and then you do it. Didn't you already have the move speed bonus though? Like, why'd you actually press W?
Doesn't it just give you attack speed? We actually have active.
The attack speed you should still have the attack speed if he's below half health. So you have 0.8 and 48, yeah. So what your W is really good at is if they're above half health and you use it, you'll get the movement speed bonus and attack speed bonus. If you already have blood trail, if they're already below half health, you get that movement speed bonus and attack speed bonus regardless. So here we actually wasted our W. It was not a huge deal, but it made us stand still for half a second. Now, if he was chugging potions and if we think he's going to get above half HP here in a second, then it makes sense because then we'll lose our movement speed bonus, but he's only at like 300 HP. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but if you're about to fight someone who's full health and you're waiting in a bush, they're about to walk in, yeah, drop your W, you'll get a fat attack speed bonus. Yeah, you caged you. We need to get level 6. We need to farm up, do a full clear down. The main thing I've seen so far is we feel obligated to go help a teammate because they either died or they're losing. When in reality, deep down, we know it's probably not going to turn out. So every time we show up on the map, Master Yi's like, okay, if he had half a brain, he was going to go wipe your jungle, or he's going to do something else on the map like dragon or whatever. So it's not just that we're falling behind and not farming and not getting level 6, which is every champion's biggest power spike for the most part is level 6, except for champions like Udyr. So we're not just putting off our power spike and our carry potential, we're also giving away our position. So it's really tough. It's the hardest thing to see about low ELO is just how it's like mothers who sacrifice themselves for their children. It's hard to watch because you know they have good intentions, but it's just like really hurting them. Okay, level 5, they're low. I like it. We're going for it since we already cleared out this side of our jungle. Auto attacker first, then Q. We eat a little bit early there. I'd wait a little bit longer. If she had condemn or flash, she could have flashed away and your E would have been timed out. Yeah, I would just let it be since he's level 6. I might shove this wave in though since you have a minion advantage. But it looks like they're just going to shove it anyways. Nice! You hit levels. Okay, that was good. I didn't think you were going to do that. So you were about to hit a level 6 and you knew it. And then right when you hit 6...
Well, I saw him use alpha, and I just hit 6 right when he used it, so I was like, well, I could...
Alright, that's good. That's the right idea. That's a really important skill to pay attention to your level 6. Because the only person... Yep, awesome. Do you know what Poppy's Circle does?
I just know that she is that really fucking annoying.
Her ultimate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that circle you just saw is something that fucks over everybody who has a dash or a leap in their kit, except for Warwick. That circle, if anybody tries to dash in it, they get like slowed and stunned for like a moment. So it like stops them immediately. It's like running into a brick wall. So if Ahri were to ult into it, or Lee Sin dash, or 𝐒𝐿𝐂𝐋𝐒, the only reason why Warwick is an exception is because Warwick's Q makes him immune. Like while he's in Q, he's immune to displacement. So yeah, knockbacks, knockups. So yeah, Warwick's actually one of the hardest counters there is to Poppy. Warwick top's actually a decent counter to Poppy top. So that's really good, smart. I like the aggression. It makes sense. And now you can start doing a lot more shit. You're level 6. I like it. You look over here, you see she just doesn't have the mana. So whenever you see a lane like this where they don't have the mana, you need to think, if I'm going to gank this, I'm going to be doing 100% of it. So you have to calculate it in your mind and just take Lux out of the equation. So since you don't have ult, you're probably not going to kill Ahri. It's usually having the Lux mid lane sucks because they normally just run out of mana and they get shoved in the whole game. You usually have no mid prio and they're always out of mana. I don't like having Lux mid normally. Very rare for them to be good. Yeah, you don't have ult. You're just wasting your time. Just take the blue and Gromp, pull them together. You're using your abilities relatively well in fights. It's just the main thing is we'll be in situations where we get excited when we see them, but deep down we know we can't do anything, so we're just there. Okay, let's clear through. Well, let's play around this ultimate timer. Right when this ultimate's about 10-15 seconds off of cooldown, we can start looking for ganks a little bit more intimately, because if it's 10 or 15 seconds, by the time we actually get in position, it'll be up. So like right now is our window, 10 seconds. We're looking around. Warwick shoved up. We look at his items. Okay, he doesn't have shit. Like if you were looking right now and that was a Darius and he had a black cleave, you're like, all right, I might actually stay away from that. There's certain champions top lane like Illaoi and Darius that actually are stronger a lot of the times in a 1v2, and usually you'll let them be alone. You don't touch them. But Warwick, if he was really far ahead, he's kind of like that too, but he's not. Oh shit! Wait, when did she get there?
She like roamed up, and that's why I backed, because I didn't know she was going to take my round.
EQ through her. I like it. Very nice. So now your E is on cooldown. Going into this fight immediately is a little scary. His Maiden does an absolute fuckload of damage. If I had to guess here, I'd say he kills you unless... Maybe?
I die, but it's not... Well, I mean, it's partially because of him. But I guess with, like, Warwick specifically, if he has Maiden up, do I kill that first? Or, like, do you just not fight him?
You would have to be super far ahead. It's kind of like fighting a Shaco at level 6 with his clone. If you're going to fight him straight up, when him and his clone are both full health, you lose. It's just... Yeah, you just have to kite it out or avoid it, but it's nasty. It's the damage on it. This is like 4 cannon minions, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
I will say, there's a good chance that if you did actually ult him here, you would have killed him. The reason why is, if he would have aggroed you with his Maiden while you had him CC'd, by the Maiden hitting you, the turret would have aggroed him, since he's technically hitting a champion.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's So there's actually a small chance that you would have killed him here if you would have ulted him under turret, because the Maiden would have hit you and then the turret would have hit him. But yeah, the Maiden's really fucking strong, and you had no E either. So going into that situation with no E because you just used it is rough. You don't have full jungle item yet either. The main thing you're looking for on Warwick or any jungler is your level 6. It's fucking huge. Level 6 power spike is massive. Having 3, like let's say you're ganking bot, everyone's level 6. 3 ultimates versus 2. It's such a fat difference. Just 3 ultimates versus 2. It's easy. And the second thing is full jungle item. Jungle item is the most cost efficient item in the game when completed. it's why you can only build it if you have smite. So when we're looking at pure raw power spikes, like if we had our completed jungle item, yeah, we would have knocked his teeth in even if he had maiden, but we don't have it finished yet. We E'd way too soon there. We just want to wait till we get a little closer. At least we landed the fear. Good job using your ult to close the distance. Had no clue why Poppy's top here. Yeah, I'd cut him off. That's smart. Good job pulling off. Poppy really fucked that up for you guys. What the fuck? What?
I know. Well, I E'd because like I knew she was gonna stun me, so I E'd to like get the damage reduction. So when I came out of it, I could at least hit her once because I knew I was gonna die. But I
right. So this is something that's really important that you'll learn just with game knowledge. It's something you build up. Is your Q is against all displacements, any form of knock up, knock back, anything. So her E, if in midair, so if you buffer the spell, so buffering is just clicking the spell before it can technically be used. So if you right now, before you're even in range, if you press Q on her, your champion will start to move at her, and the moment she's within range of your Q, the animation will start frame for frame. So if you were to press Q on her right now, even if she's flying at you really fast, your Q will go off, you'll get the damage, you'll get the healing, and you'll negate her stun. So, yeah, you actually would have lived, funny enough. You could even red smite her in there if you want to take less damage. So just E, Q her in midair, and you would have negated all of this, funny enough. Yeah, Warwick Q is devastating for a lot of matchups. This is the same thing Lee Sin ult. If you've ever fought a Lee Sin, if you time your Q, you'll break right through his ult, and they're fucked. So yep, just in those situations when you know what they're going to do, just hover your cursor over them to make it easier. So just almost like have you ever played shooters before?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Hey, you know how you lead people into headshots? Have you ever done that, or you just do snapshots?
I just play CSGO.
Oh, okay. That's all snapshots then. But yeah, so it's almost like you're leading her into it. You just put your cursor in front of her, you can put it on top, just press Q, and it's easy. Yeah, CSGO. Good times.
So here I don't know why this happened, but I fucked up and didn't finish the jungle. I just overlooked it. I never do that, but for whatever reason it happened here.
Yeah. Our ultimate is down, so always take that into account. This is going to be interesting. Bane's dead. Poppy ult. Dang. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to stop this unless Lux comes, since our ult's still down, but now it's up. I think we could actually fight this now. So you'd press tab, Master, full jungle item. Ahri only has GA. This is actually very stoppable. They're losing a lot of HP here. Your ultimate's up. Against people like Master Yi, never ultimate first, ever. Unless you know their alpha strikes down. Always try to fear him first. Especially the dragon. They're at no risk of losing the dragon. It's too much health. So just run up, fear him, and then ult him. Because if he was smart, yeah, so he dodges it, of course. And thank God you guys get dragon. But yeah, just run at him, fear him. While he's feared, you can then ult him. He can't dodge it if he's feared because he can't do anything. The higher elo you go, the better people will get at dodging your ultimate on Warwick, and you'll get more and more used to running them down, queuing through them with your fear on, and then auto attack ulting them while they're still feared.
Okay.
E, good job. I would also use your red smite. You have 2 red smite charges. Whenever you smite someone, it makes you take 20% reduced damage for, 2.5 seconds? That's pretty good. It's like a little exhaust. Pulling off is probably the right idea. Something I will say is I wouldn't recommend getting tier 2 boots on Warwick before you have your full jungle item finished. It's just the full jungle item is just such a cost-efficient, powerful item. It looks like you're actually going straight into Titanic Hydra. That's
like I said, normally I would get full jungle item and then Titanic Hydra, but again, I thought I already had it, I guess.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, so just try to get the full jungle item before your tier 2 boots, preferably, and get Titanic Hydra always after your full jungle item. Whether you're going Warrior or Cinder, doesn't matter. But Yeah, you're far enough ahead to where second item Titanic Hydra does make sense. This is the best part about Warwick, just running people down. Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Okay, so you flash. Oh, that's so unlucky. It puts you like a few pixels past the blast radius. Alright. That was unlucky. There's nothing I can really say there. With the way he hit the plant, the way he timed it, you didn't attach over the wall, and at the same time, the swing through on your Q puts you a few pixels outside of the blast cone. Q through.
He does, don't worry.
I'm worrying, man. Alright, so I'll just make one comment. Something you need to start practicing is once you're on top of them, remember your Q has double your auto's attack range. Auto first and then try to Q if you can. So here, it should just been run up, auto attack, then Q through. It buys you more time and it lets you get off more damage in a narrow window.
So basically just using Q as like a gap closer essentially when you're having more.
Yeah. So kind of think of it more like how 𝐒𝐿𝐂𝐋𝐒 would use his jump. You get on the enemies and then you use your E once you need to. So, yep. That's exactly correct. So you use your Q to dodge shit or you use it to help stay on top of them. But using it always like first like this isn't good. Unless you're using it to dodge something or once again, if you think they're about to flash. And with that being said, obviously, then you'll need some way to close the distance. So you'd either come in behind them or have a big movement speed bonus. Okay, so at this point in the game, wait, do they have both dragons? I thought Lux got one of them.
Yeah, we did. I don't know why it says that. I think it's a
bug. Yeah, that's dumb. All right, Master Yi is dead right now. Since we know he's dead on the tab, instead of going in your jungle, instead in the future, every time the enemy jungler is dead or on a different side of the map, wipe their jungle clean, and you'll build up a consistent lead and they'll fall out of the game very, very quickly. So by the time you finish wiping out the jungle, if you move into yours, they'll show up with nothing. If they move into yours, there will be nothing and they lose. Yeah, it's going to be tough ganking her when she has that. I don't think Red Smite even takes off the Banshee's Veil. I know Blue Smite does, but I don't think Red Smite does because the way it's coded, it technically doesn't do any damage until you auto them with Red Smite since it marks them, and then once you hit them with an auto, it chews up the mark and then does damage. But Blue Smite, like if you were to run at her and then Blue Smite her, then you could ult her. Blue Smite, since Blue Smite's instant damage. That's what people don't realize. They'll try to like kill you with a Red Smite, but Red Smite doesn't do any damage unless you auto them after. Doesn't do anything. Red Smite also used to reveal people's position. If you were to Red Smite like a Shaco or LeBlanc or someone walk into a bush, you could still see them when they were walked into it, but they took that away. Because Red Smite's so much stronger, everyone's taking Red Smite. Yep, just keep farming. When there's nothing to do, I like this. This is what I wanted to see earlier. Instead of forcing ganks, just keep farming. If there's nothing to do, it's a good way to spend time when there's no particularly good way to spend that time. Alright, you landed ult. Yeah, I only have one comment about this situation. I like how you landed your ult, but there's one thing I want you to look for in the future, which is, I don't know what your thought process is here. I didn't know if you were scared of getting hit by somebody, but when you know you're stronger than someone, like he's level 8, he's a little ankle biter trying to chew on your food, take away as many advantages from him as you can. So for example, if you were to walk around here to the bottom side of the blue buff, in between him and the blue, it would give him less space. So if he were to walk up and try to smite it, you're already right on top of him. So, but by you staying on this side of it, do you see how it gives him more space to work with?
Yeah, I think my thought process here is like I wanted to drag it back, so he had to walk closer. Because
Okay.
I knew Ari was missing, and I was like worried she was in the bush down here to the left, and she eventually shows up. But
Right. All right. Yeah, I like it. I like how you did draw it back because of the Ari. only thing I want to mention here, do you remember when you were under turret and you died because you didn't press Q on her in midair? On Poppy?
Yeah.
Well, this is the same exact thing. If he was, like, realistically, you wouldn't see this until, like, Diamond at least. Like, while you're in midair, if you were to press Q on you, he could dodge it. It's the same concept. Like, he would completely...
Okay.
Yeah. That's why as you get higher, because you'll obviously get higher elo. As you get higher and higher, you'll see the ways you start to choose your ultimate on Warwick become... There's more of a process to it. It's harder to use outright. So RI kills you. Yep, probably would have just kept running. Okay, we got our Titanic. That's tough that we didn't finish our jungle item, but we are far enough ahead to where we could probably not affect us too much.
It's a pretty big oof, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this game, your front line's pretty fucking weak because you have a squishy support, and you always... Front lines are always in comparison. So they have Poppy and a Yorick, and Master Yi's melee as well. So realistically, this game probably would have been a Cinderholt game, not a Warrior game.
I think I do end up going Cinderholt.
That's good. Very, very good.
So do you normally pick Warrior when they're like generally squishier and you guys already have a tank? So like if we had Warwick and...
That's exactly correct. Like if you had the Poppy and they had the Nami, this would have definitely been a Warrior game. Or if they have 2 or more mega tanks, so like if they had like an Orange Zac, like if they have at least 1 mega tank, but preferably 2 or more, you need to go Blood Razor. If you don't go Blood Razor, you won't be able to cut through them. Blood Razor's only for killing a mega tank team, though.
So if they have like a Dr. Mundo and like another team.
Exactly. So just auto attack Q her first. We Q'd through. We gave up. Oh, we did auto. Oh, shit. Auto. Yeah, you kept autoing her while she was in your auto range. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Don't Q until they're out of your auto range. So then you Q through. And did you use your Titanic Hydra there too?
I don't think so. It looks like it's on.
Yeah, so your Titanic Hydra, you can actually... So after you autoed, you could use it as a... Do you know what an auto attack resetter is?
So like after you auto attack, you use an ability and then you auto attack again like immediately.
Yes, but there's different qualities, just like with anything in life. For example, an auto attack resetter is just a way to auto attack faster. So for example, Garen, do you know what his Q is where he jumps up in there and hits you with his sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a very slow auto attack resetter. You can auto then Q, but it's only like 30% faster, 20% faster than just autoing again. So that's a slow auto attack resetter. The Titanic Hydra is a slow auto attack resetter. It's only like 60-70% faster. It's not like a true, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could have just done the auto Titanic Q, or you could have just done the auto activated your Titanic Hydra and Q'd, because your Q will apply it anyways. So either way is fine. So I liked how you stayed on her. You autoed her as much as you could while she's in your auto range. We need to see more of that. Another thing I'm seeing is you don't seem to be using your red smite much in fights. Do you generally save it for objectives or something?
It's interesting because like normally when I play blue smite champions, I use it way more just because I think the visual effect of it actually happening is much more noticeable. And so like when I have red smite, I'm like, okay, I can use this to get back health and take objectives, and like I think about it less for actual fights, but the impact of it in skirmishing, like in a situation like this, is probably much bigger than like a blue smite would be. It's just harder to physically see, if that makes sense.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Yes, so the rules of jungler is if you have 2 smite charges, you're looking to use 1. So whether you're farming a camp, you use it, or if you're in a fight, if you have a smite charge in general in your fight, you're going to be using it 9 out of 10 times, but particularly if you have 2, you're always going to be using it. So yep, sounds good. I know what you mean though, using red smite, it's not quite as appealing since it's delayed gratification on the damage. Yep, always be looking to use it if you have 2 charges though. Back in my day, there weren't 2 smite charges, we only had 1. Not even kidding. Yep. Oh, times have changed. I forget why they did that. I feel like they did it when they added the Rift Herald, because back there used to be nothing here. It was just Baron at the 20-minute mark. It was back like season 4 or 5 they added the second smite charge. Okay, so our ultimate's up. We can look to do some things. Our Trundle splitting, it's probably... I think our Teamfight's better realistically until Mastery's like full build. I think our Teamfight's better because the MF ult, the Lux CC. Okay, so you were wondering about what you do in Teamfights. So it's very situational. If you have a better backline, realistically all you have to do is peel. You're just defending your fucking machine gunner is all you're doing if you got a stronger backline. Now, if you don't, the hard thing is if you have a weaker backline, then you have two options. Your team needs to set up a split push, either with your strongest split pusher on your team, preferably not you, because Warwick sucks at split pushing. A lot of Warwick's damage is on hit damage with his Q and auto in his build. So Warwick shouldn't be split pushing. So if they have the stronger backline, set up a split push on your team and look for picks and just slowly shove them in. Or if they have a stronger backline, you need to get a pick before the team fight. But this game, since you have a stronger backline, realistically, all you need to do is peel, or if you get a reasonable pick, that's fine too, because then you're just setting it up for your team regardless. That's where people get confused, is they'll have the weaker backline. They're like, what do I do? If I engage, we lose. If I peel, we lose. It's those are the situations that suck, because then you have to set up a split push. And that only really works if you have a champion on your team where no one on the enemy team can match. Like if you have a Jax Fiora, set him on split, the enemies will have to send at least 2 people to stop them. And then once the enemies send 2, then there's 4 of you against 3 of them, and then you auto win. And that's how you...
Right.
Yeah. But in this game, you have the stronger backline. You should win this for free.
So do you know we have the stronger backline just because of like your experience in the game? Because if you put me in this situation, like the first thing that comes to Vayne scales incredibly fucking hard, so I'm scared of her, but she's 1 in 5, so right now I'm not. And MF has a really good ult, but only if it's like in kind of a segregated area, like if I can just like get them all funneled in one. And then like Trundle's off doing his own thing, so he's not coming with us. And then like Master Yi is really bad if he like gets resets on his alpha. So like for me, when I look at this, I'm like, okay, I want to take a fight if Master Yi or Vayne isn't there, essentially, you know?
Right. Yep, that's reasonable. There's nothing wrong with that process. That is a recipe. It's just not the full recipe. So what the recipe is here, Vayne has 80 CS, MF has 117. That's like in terms of gold, that's like 2 kills. Yeah, that's like 2 kills worth of gold, and she's 4 kills, and Vayne's 1. Something to also keep in mind about Vayne is Vayne's more of a 2-item power spike 80 carry. She's more of a Bork Rageblade 80 carry or Bork Phantom Dancer. Until she has a true 2 full items, she's not truly power spiked. MF, on the other hand, she's power spiked once she's hit level 6. Like, that's what she does. So, yeah, if the teams were full build, what you were saying about avoiding the fights would make more sense, because Vayne would cut through you and Trundle like butter. But since Vayne hasn't power spiked the MF ult, and plus Lux has more range than their whole team, Lux can force them to engage, and then you and Trundle can just body block. And you guys have enough CC to deal with E. If E goes in, you don't have to worry about his resets, because with your Red Smite and E, they can't one-shot you. They can't one-shot Trundle. So if E goes in, you guys tank, he's going to get snared, he's going to get knocked up, he's going to get MF ulted, he's going to get knocked up again. So realistically, until they're got way more items than you guys, since you have the range advantage, and realistically you have the CC advantage as well, that it really shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, this Dingleberry, he's invading by himself into their jungle on Dragon Spawn. Since you do have Herald, I wouldn't go for this dragon. Trundle's dead, your Lux is splitting top, God knows why. She should be mid. She's a very slow champion, and she didn't go teleport, so she should be the one mid. Trundle should be the one splitting. He's the one with teleport, so swap them out in their position, ping it out, and I wouldn't go to stop Dragon here, since it's a 3v4. It's gonna be shit. I would just dump Herald, get at least this turret and half of that turret, but I wouldn't have gone back for the minion wave. I would have run up, used the Herald since they were all running for Dragon. Since this turret's low, you would have gotten this turret, and you might have gotten a second one. But whenever you're using Herald, think of it this way. Herald is always worth using if you can get a turret and a half. It is always worth using. The reason that is because even though in theory you could use Herald to get like basically 3 turrets and an inhibitor, realistically it's just not going to happen. It's like, yeah, you could buy a lottery ticket and become like a millionaire, but it's not going to happen. So if you can use Herald and get a turret and a half or more, it's always worth it. Because what's usually going to happen is it's going to almost expire, and then you lay it, and then the enemies kill it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Right.
So look for a situation for a turret and a half or more, and if you see it, always take it. And that was what this was. So now we're going to back off. We need to wait for Trundle to spawn in. Yeah, Mastery is really not an issue. He doesn't have any tanky items. He has 0 tenacity. 1 CC and he's dead. I like that Poppy aggression. So right here, what we should be doing, we see only 3 of them mid, so we can assume. So we saw Trundle, not Trundle, but we see York bot. So 1's bot, and we only see 3 mid, and Poppy just lost a lot of her health. We should be flanking a little bit more, standing more around this area, because our teammates have a turret anyways. Since Poppy lost a lot of her health, we don't need to be defending our teammates under turret. They can handle themselves with the CC. So like, for example, if we were on the flank right now, Poppy would be dead. We could set up a team fight. So we W in. Ooh. Ooh, shit. Hold on, I gotta go back to see that one.
Vayne, like, Art out of it, I think is what happened. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that. So you actually did exactly what I said there with auto first and then Q. That's not bad. I won't say that's the wrong thing to do. The only thing to keep in mind is when a champion does have a fast dash like an Ahri, in those very few situations, once they are level 6 and they have access to that dash, in those cases it can be okay to Q first. That way they don't bleed out of your Q range as you auto them. But other than that, that's not a huge deal. It happens to everyone. Never use your ultimate if you can't see where the enemies are, or unless they're already CC'd, because this is what ends up happening. More importantly than missing your ultimate, now you're out of the fight. Thank God your teammates have a turret or master. You would have killed Nami. We should be able to kill Yi here. He doesn't even have tier 2 boots. So Trundle just got soloed. Let's kill Warwick. His maiden is low. You can smite the maiden. You can. So if you see your smite can kill it, just run up, smite it, and then kill Warwick. Wait, where the fuck? Oh, he teleported. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's good. He didn't get the turret. That's actually really good. It actually probably would have been worse for us if he stayed and queued the turret twice and broke it. So that's actually probably for the best. We burned his telly. But yeah, in these team fights, let's just manage our positioning a little better. Only use our ult when we know we can land it. Because like you saw, worse than just missing it, if we use it improperly, we can actually take ourselves out of the fight unintentionally. And that's actually how MF ended up dying. And if that turret wasn't there, Nami would have died too. We see 2 of them bot. Wow. So now our team should be shoving mid hard. They should never ever have 2 bot. Vayne's trolling. This should only ever be York. There's nothing down here. Vayne's doing this while Baron's up too. If you guys are all 5 stacked, you could potentially get Baron.
So at this point, when we see this happening, we should be... Well, see, they're starting Baron. I think they're doing it because they have...
Right.
We should have been more aggressive here is what you're saying.
Right. I think you guys are doing the right play. Once you saw it, you are being aggressive. So I think you guys are doing the right thing. Ooh, shit. That was awesome. Nice timing. That was really, really good. I like that R timing. You already knew where Mastery's going to be. It always puts him like right on top of you, frame for frame. So that was really nice. Yep, lay the Herald. You know you're going to get at least a turret and a half. You're going to get this turret plus at least half of this one. I like it. I wouldn't... The only reason why I say you shouldn't leave is Trundle has a lot of armor, and for some reason he's building lethality. I would like to see you stay with your team and use the Herald, because if it does turn into a base race, since 2 of them are dead and 1 of them's top, you're only fighting 3 of them right now. Wait, 2's dead,
Okay.
1's top. So you're only fighting 2 of them. And so I would like to see you base race it with this. Plus, since Trundle's backing, if he's under turret, realistically, like he'll probably still die since he built lethality, but he should be able to hold him off for a while.
I think York beats the shit out of us here. I can't remember. There was a time where York like 3.
Oh god.
Pretty embarrassing. If you're gonna post this, just edit that part out.
Wait, the only question that needs to be asked here is, why does Trundle teleport onto a lone minion all by itself? Oh god. Yeah. Oh, you saw that cage coming from 10 miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's like T-ping onto a Kate trap. Yeah, you can't touch him now. If he has a full health maiden, like if you can't kill the maiden with just like 1 Q and a smite, you don't take the fight. It's just too nasty. The maiden's like 4 cannon minions. At this point, it's probably even stronger than that. So if we're going to defend under turret, especially if we know we're going to lose the fight, don't use your E until he starts to hit you, because now that it's on cooldown, if he would cage you right now, he'd beat the crap out of you. He should have just caged you.
I can't remember. I think we give him turret, other people come back, and we just get our ship.
Yeah, that's tough. So just let the record show what we should have done. Stay with our team, use the Herald until it's gone, and just ping your turret for him to defend. I know it's obvious, like Trundle, defend the fucking turret, but if you, I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying, since you're the one who should be carrying, ping the turret, because he's a goofball. He TP'd the minion. If you would have pinged the turret before he TP'd the minion, there's a better chance he would have gone to the turret instead, and he would have had a better chance of prolonging him rather than doing what he did.
True, yeah.
So just point out the obvious, don't assume. Oftentimes we'll think more of our teammates than they actually are. Okay, now walk away, walk away. Holy cow! Dude, the maiden is the MVP here.
It really is, man.
Oh.
It's disgusting.
Holy shit. That's spicy. Now, something to keep in mind is, against auto attack base champs or against, because it's per auto, against auto attack base champs or healing champions like Mundo, even though we're not going to be building Morello or Executioners, which are both Grievous Wound items, even though we're not going to be building those, we still have a reasonable build option, which is Bramble Vest, because if they hit us, it'll apply Grievous Wounds for 3 seconds. I thought they must have changed that. It used to only be 1 second. That's really good. So yeah, if we had a Bramble Vest, for example, York kills a fuckload off of his Qs. Every time he Qs you, it's like a Darius Q. It's big healing. So Bramble Vest would be a decent option here. W onto the Yi, that's good. Run him down first. You ult, that's fine. Kill Yi. That's honestly perfect. Now just pill for your team. You guys have the range advantage with the Lux. You guys could set up a push mid. Take Dragon first. You eat too soon. That's fine. Just keep in mind your E's on a long cooldown, so now you have a window where you can't tank. What the fuck? Okay, so they kill Poppy. You guys need to go mid. Trundle 10 seconds. Yeah, Trundle can defend base. There's no reason to back here. Whenever you're trying to decide whether you should base or not, look at your teammates' respawns. Trundle can spawn in and easily defend this. You guys should take mid. You could probably get their mid inhib. So yeah, see, Trundle's already there. And with the way minions are coded, after they have about a 2 or 3 second reaction time before it kicks in. But so like, let's say they're hitting the turret. If you start hitting the minion, then the minions are programmed to defend the minion and then attack you. So when he runs up and starts hitting it, they'll all focus him. So you don't really have to, there's really no turret threat there.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, there is, he is the threat. I think at this point, with how strong his Maiden is, obviously you should have a Bramble Vest, and I might actually go for the Maiden first, unless my whole team's behind me. Since your whole team's behind you, I would just ult him. Or fear him. Nice. Good. Very good. Yeah, going for the maiden there would have been a big mistake since you had your teammates. All you needed to do is CC for the Lux.
Yeah, I think at first I was going for it, but then I saw more was collapsing, so then I just jumped.
Very nice. The biggest threat for you guys this game, in theory, you guys should have lost. What should have happened was after they got this inhib, the game's over. If they couldn't get the inhib, then it's not. But once they get this inhib, what should happen then is York just sits top. He never overextends like what he did here. He always waits till he sees multiple people on the map. Then he just keeps shoving. None of you can match him, and you guys auto lose. Because the moment one of your teammates makes a mistake, the game's over. So do keep in mind that losing an inhibitor is one of the, especially as you climb an ELO, losing an inhibitor is honestly, I'm trying to think of like how to rate it. It's almost like losing a dragon soul. Like if people know how to play around it, it's actually that impactful. Fear him. Oh shit. Let's just keep through him next time, but it's fine. Yeah, just get used to hovering your cursor for the Q. Just hover it, Q attach. Yeah, you just fucked up. York should have just spawned in. Probably run this fight down. I don't think it's showing the dragons properly. I think it's 2-2 dragons. Or you guys have 3. Yep, Q through. You completely negated her CC. Awesome. Just, I would Q and auto the minions. You'll get easily back over half health. Stay with your team.
So at this point, like, when do you decide to forget about these camps and then just, like, stay with the team? Because I just don't want to get behind and farm, but I also don't want to take away the CS from, like, the carries. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're always, so do you think of it like how a programmer codes? Everything is a fact. It's a law unless otherwise. So for example, if there's nothing else better to do, then you farm. If there's something else better to do, then you don't farm.
Okay.
I know that's overly simplistic, but in this case, what should have happened is you guys have a cannon minion, you have a few minions, you just killed Poppy. You guys should have realistically all stayed mid. You could have gotten at least inhibitor. There's no reason we should have backed here. We're full mana, full health, pretty much full mana, full health. You would have been over half health if you would have just queued one of the minions. But we really should have stayed in. I guess you could say Ahri might be able to clear the cannon. I don't think so. If you just push out in front of it, maybe not. It's tough to say. But now, basically what we need to do to secure this win, since Vayne's a harder scaling champion than MF, we need to make sure we get the Dragon Soul and we'll still win. If we don't get Dragon Soul, then we're going to lose. So Dragon should be spawning in. And it's the Flame Soul. Whoa, Mastery just got a double? I just want to see how he did it, because they got double knockups. So he's on his ult. When someone is on a timed ability, you just walk away and let him burn it. But she throws out her abilities. She misses, of course. Master Yi flashes when he didn't even need to. Jesus. Yeah, we can't even get him now. That sucks. This is a really bad position. Now all we can do is defend. God forbid if there's a dragon spawning in. But yeah, Nami should have just walked away and waited to use her abilities. She was very impatient. We need to recall and get back in base. We don't want to run out from here. We're going to get fucked. We should just recall, come back from base. Or I guess this works too. You found a good path there. Oh, shit! We actually misplayed that. She would have been dead. Okay, so what we're trying to maximize our damage to kill people. That way they can't dash away after they get out. So since we already had our fear ready, walk into her and fear her. So after she's feared, while she's feared, we're going to auto attack Q. And then ultimate her while she's still feared. So now fear, auto attack Q, ultimate.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But instead, we didn't get the... Did we not even use Red Smite? I'm not sure. I don't think we did.
No, probably.
You know, something else. Like, that's if you want to kill them before they get out of your ult. Something I should also mention, which is extremely important, is, so let's say you feared her, you auto-attacked her, and then you ulted her. While you have her ulted, if you hover your cursor on her, very important, like we discussed here with the Poppy, if you hover her cursor after you've landed your ult, press Q and hold it down. The very moment your ultimate ends, frame for frame, you will attach on top of her. So the moment she's freaking out, she's pressing flash, you're pressing ult as fast as she can, the very millisecond she comes out of your ultimate, you will be attaching to her, and she'll be fucked. So that's also an option too. So while you're ulted on top of her after the fear, so you auto her after fear, ult, then hover your mouse over her, hold down your Q, and it should land frame for frame no matter what. And that probably would have been a kill because we would have attached. Boom, boom, she's dead. But we flash. Oh, we're fucked now.
Yeah, we just get kited out.
That's tough. There's a few AD carries that are, I don't want to say hard counters to Warwick. One of the biggest ones is Ashe. And then, at least in team fights. And then another one's Vayne, just because of her tumbles and condemn. Yeah, sucks. So we went for Frozen Heart. I wouldn't have done it. Only reason I wouldn't have gone for Frozen Heart is because Vayne does true damage anyways. They have true damage on Master Yi's E. They have true damage on REQ, and obviously she's a mage anyways. So they have a lot of true damage on their team, 3 different true damage abilities, and a lot of magic damage. So if you want to just build tanky and shit right now, at this point in the game when it's just 5v5 team fights, I would just go for a Locket or a Knight's Vow. Because the value you're going to be getting out of this, if you just try to tank, they're going to be killing you pretty much just as fast with their true damage anyways. I would just pill for my teammates and get things like Locket and Knight's Vow.
So are you only doing Frozen Heart if they're playing like Tryndamere or Jax?
Yes. If they are like let's say for example, Tryndamere bot's not that uncommon. Like let's say if it was a Tryndamere bot, they had 3 melees, like with the York, Yi, Trin, that would make a lot of sense. But since they have true damage and the Vayne could probably hit you from outside of the Frozen Heart's radius anyways, it just doesn't quite level out. Something to also keep in mind is when you're playing a tank, once you already have a few tank items, if the game is already super late and it's pure team fighting anyways, then the value of tank items starts to diminish, and the value of support items like Redemption, Knight's Vow, Locket start to go up, because then you already know what it looks like. Vayne can kill you in like 3-4 seconds here soon. So realistically, you tanking versus you just keeping your teammates alive are 2 very different things, and currently keeping Lux and MF alive is going to be the priority, because the game's already out of your hands, so you're not going to be able to do anything here pretty soon.
Right, yeah.
Holy shit. Oh man, if I was MF, I'd be pulling my hair out because of this Nami. So she drops the E, she auto attacks, she's kiting it. Those ghouls are, holy shit. So he flash kills her. Those ghouls did so much damage. Yeah, man. I don't know if...
I mean, York's just super strong. There's not much we can do unless it's like 4v1, yeah.
The York, Illaoi, and... York, Illaoi, and Darius perform the same function. They're all really good at fighting multiple targets at once. Darius because of his AoE Q, his ult resets, his rage damage. Illaoi obviously because she gets more tentacles and more shit. And York because he has fucking ghouls and his ult and cage. He can kite. But yeah, sending multiple people is bad. It's better to just defend under turret unless you have someone like Fiora or Jackson who can just knock his head in. So pretty much once York gets that inhibitor, realistically the game's over, because like what you see here, all it takes is one mistake. This lane's shoving in anyways. One mistake, the game's over. Because I'm telling you, man, if you do not get Dragon Soul on Warwick or any early game jungler, the game's just out of your hands. It just turns into what can your team do. We should be taking this right now. The enemies are probably on Baron. So let's just take this. Yeah, they take Baron. Is this Soul?
No, because this would have been our third.
Okay, yeah. This would have been our third. You're right. Oh, wow. If that was Soul, it might have saved the game. Yeah, so instead of the Frozen Heart, I would have liked to see a Bramble Vest. It would have cut the Master Yi healing. Every time he hit you, he would have gotten half as much healing. Same thing with Vayne. Same thing with the Yorick. So the Bramble Vest is just 1,000 gold investment compared to, I think Frozen Heart's 2,700. So the Bramble Vest is nearly a third the price. You're getting arguably more value out of it. And then for the same price or cheaper, isn't Locket 2,200? Yeah, so for a little bit more expensive, you could also then get a support item like Locket or Knight's Vow. So next time, if it's already in pure team fighting phase, and if you need to pill, just go for a Locket or Knight's Vow at this point in the game. And I would definitely not get a Frozen Heart this late in the game. Unless the situations was different, obviously. They have just too much true damage and such. If they were all 5 AD, then sure. They have true damage, they have magic damage. It's not a good item for us. It's really bad for MF to be dying, especially in front of turret. She should be behind the turret waiting to use ult as the enemies overextend. Not much you can do there except for pinger. Fear, auto. Yep, I really liked that. That was a good combo. Yep, you Q through him, auto attack. That's fine. Holy shit. Yep, that's one of the reasons why Vayne counters Warwick is the moment she uses her ult, you have to wait to use yours. So whenever she ults, don't buy a lottery ticket, wait. So at this point, the moment she ults, just turn on the poppy. You might have pressed R right as she tumbled though.
Yeah, it was close, but no, you're right. Either way, I should just know that about that.
Yeah. So if we are dealing with Vayne and she ults, let's fear her first, or wait until she's visible, or until after she's gone invisible. It's like once she went invisible, now she's visible. Because like you see, that's like the third time that's happened, and it just doesn't really lead to anything. Realistically, we could still win if Lux gets a really good snare. If she hits like 2 squishies in a snare, like Lux Ari drops ult, we could still win. York's just sitting on the perma-split. York's a bad team fight champ. He's good at soloing, good at breaking turrets. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. You played that well, but you guys still got fucked by it. Yeah, man. Oh! Get behind her. Get behind her. So, the only thing you should have done differently here is mainly... Well, first you need to use your red smite. I don't think you do. You use your ult. That's fine. Get behind her. Ari's Q hits everything in front of her. Make her choose between hitting you or your teammate. So if you're standing in front of her, 100% she's going to throw Q out in front. Stand behind her or sideways. Force her to at least choose. If not, miss it altogether. So we stand in front. She hits it to Q. Yeah. Alright. Not too bad. Yeah, once Vayne gets Rage Blade and has Bork, it's kind of... Wait, she doesn't have Rage Blade. It looked like she did. Wow, she did a lot of damage. There's really not a lot you can do at this point. Warwick just doesn't scale. He doesn't have the stats in his abilities. 2 of his abilities don't scale with anything. Yeah, 2 of them, I think. It's his,
yeah, W and E.
Yeah, W and E. They don't scale with anything at all. No stat. They only scale per level. Unless yeah, I don't know. In my mind, the game's over unless Lux lands a good snare, or unless we can maybe get Dragon Soul. The only thing we really have going for us is the fact that their Vayne's bad. She's one of the worst people on her team if you're at least going by score. If she was really good, this would be more difficult. So yeah, right now there's not a lot you can do. You're just going to be farming, waiting for the enemies to push up on a turret for you to get a pick, or waiting for them to try to force an objective for you to maybe counter punch. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, I guess that worked because he had Bramble Vest. He wasn't healing off of him. He was just taking damage. It was crazy. Fear. Yep, exactly right. Fear into ult. 9 out of 10 times it's best. Perfect. Just get on her with the autos. Oh, shit. Keep behind her. Yeah. I will say, if you had Bramble Vest, I think she would have died.
I think I have it at this point.
Oh, shit. You do have it. Wow. Okay. Nice. That's a good buy. Yep, you do have Bramble Vest. The flash over the wall is really good, right out of stun. That maiden's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, that's why I left.
I mean,
I remember.
That maiden's gonna make you wish you were never born.
Yeah, at this point it's kind of just over. I think they end pretty quickly after.
This game is a perfect example of the feeling of winning early and losing late.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, generally, in most of my games, I play pretty decently early. I mean, there's exceptions, obviously. Not ignorant to the fact that, like, I'm Silver 4, so, like, I know that I'm not making all the right decisions.
Right.
So, I mean, it's, you know, I'm not one of those people that says, oh my god, my fucking teammates are terrible. Like, realistically, we're all terrible. We're Silver 4, okay?
Yeah. There's an X number of mistakes made every single game. The ratio just changes a little bit per elo.
So, I mean, I thought, like, I played decent in this one, but, like, it was just, like you said, one of those ones where, like, it started off well, and then we just, like, kind of...
Yes, you with the amount of mistakes you made, you played well enough to where if your teammates were neutral, like, if Trundle wasn't building lethality, and if Trundle wasn't teleporting to lone minions, like, if your teammates were just playing neutral, you would have won. With the weight of your team, with how hard you carried, it wasn't a big enough snowball you were rolling. It was a moderately sized snowball, but it wasn't the Goliath of a snowball we needed to crash into the house and break.
Right, yeah. And so that's just like, I'm trying to figure out how to build that huge snowball more consistently, you know?
Right.
It's the only way you can get out of here.
Right. Yeah, I don't really expect you guys to win the fights at this point. Vayne just outscales, and so I'm just skipping through it. Yeah, I'm going to go back and touch over some specific things that I recall. The biggest thing that's not nitpicky at all, it's just like core fundamental that I think we need to improve on is this right here. So the moment we see Yi, we make some decisions that aren't optimal in the least. So he's got red buff, we see him, he's waiting. So we're getting up really big lead right now. He's only taken one camp, he's leeching XP on Ahri. This situation's fucked for them. This is a really horrible situation. You're getting ahead right now. You're going to hit level 3 with double buffs. So it's at this moment, you run over here. You're in a good position. You have multiple options. You could maybe kill Yi if he stays. You can gank Ahri. You could cross through mid and get blue buff. This is when the rails start coming off the cart. You see Yi coming bot. Rule number 1. Ping, 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 ping. Ping it out. At least
I think at this point, like, I didn't see him moving bot because of Fog of War, but I thought he's either going bot or he was going to his Raptors, and I couldn't.
Right.
It might have been just like, I should have made an assumption.
Right.
Because I think I did see him moving down there, like, for a split second, so I probably should have saw it, but at the time I wasn't looking at the map at the right time, I think. Yeah, right there. Because I couldn't tell if he went into his camps or if he was going straight down.
Fair enough. The only thing I would say about that is normally when people are clicking to their camps, you'll see them run at a really sharp angle because they cut the wall because it's the fastest path. That's the only thing I would say about that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
The only way it wouldn't be really sharp, I guess, is if you path towards golems, but that'd be such a long walk. Yeah, so basically at this point in the game, with your level 3 advantage, you got double buffs. He's only taking red buff. He's not a great clearer necessarily early game. So we have multiple options. If we could go here, and with the way this is playing out, things are fucky. MF is already dead. If MF was alive, sure, this play would have been a better of a choice. But with everything taken into account, coming through here mid, ganking and pushing towards his blue buff and his Gromp. We can take blue buff Gromp really fast. The game's over. We're going to be level 4. We're going to get double scuttle, if not minimum 1 scuttle, if not double scuttle. But with the way this played out, we ended up giving away double buffs. We ended up trading kills. And when we're the better player, when we are the better player, we never trade kills. We avoid that. We try to avoid it. Like, we can't always avoid it. But trading kills when you're the better player, it should leave a bad taste in your mouth. Because you're basically succumbing to the... You're like getting in the mud with the pigs. You're getting muddy, and we don't want to do that. So we should have had his blue. We should have had his Gromp. We would have gotten at least this scuttle. We could have pathed through mid again, maybe, but we could have. You get the point. And then the next thing I want to say, I'll just, I don't want to find the spot in the game, so I'll just show you. When Poppy had you under turret, hover your cursor. When you know what she's already gonna do. She's not gonna sell you a popsicle. She's coming at you. Just put your cursor on her, press Q. Your champion will start walking at her because he is tasked to press Q. Even though she's flying in midair a million miles an hour, Warwick will start up his Q. You'll get the healing, you'll get the damage on her, and you'll negate her stun. You would have lived here. Then you could have farmed more camps. You would have been higher level, had more gold, and you wouldn't have bled the gold. It would have been better for us. Next thing I want to talk about is when we have the gold to buy Tiamat, that is huge. Unless there is a free gank. It was over here. And Lux was like out of mana. Because Lux players, I'll give you a hint, they're always out of mana. So we are over here.
True.
Yeah, they're always... They're playing Lux normally because they don't know what they're doing. So we were over here. We had enough gold for Tiamat. We felt bad because Lux is a stinker. And we wanted to help. If we would have back gotten Tiamat, we would have had a full clear setup straight into Dragon Spawn. It would have been beautiful. So... play around your Tiamat buy unless there's a free gank. Don't force yourself into bad ganks. Play an optimal option that has the least risk of financially bankrupting you. And then last thing I want to say is unless they're about to dash or flash, if you're on top of them, auto attack then Q. Remember, your Q is the gap closer. And that's the main stuff, man. And if you fix that, I could easily seeing you because I'm already seeing you doing shit. Like, you're laying your ward, you're fucking dragging camps out, you're doing shit that I see not even some diamond players do. So if you clean up this other stuff, I could easily see you getting diamond before the end of the season. With that mindset of constantly correcting mistakes and learning the more optimal options and then replaying those, you're going to climb easily. Like, those, yeah, you have nothing to worry about. It's just going to take a little bit of time because League has so much game knowledge to learn.
Yeah, no, 100% true. It's just, yeah, that's probably my biggest hurdle right now is the game knowledge stuff. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I thank you for your time.
GG, Brandon. I'll be looking up on your OPGG in the future, man.
That's alright.